Good morning, everyone. Continuing today with Merging with Śiva, Chapter 42, entitled The Evolution of Consciousness. Master Course 1967 and 1970 editions, plus upadeshas from 1989. Lesson 290, Quelling the Kundalini. As it is said, what goes up must come down. This is especially true with the Kundalini Shakti moving through either of the other of the two wrong channels, where it can produce dis-ease, discomfort physically, emotionally, intellectually, and astrally, that no doctor's effort can fathom the cause of or effect to cure. At various junctures as it rises, the Kundalini Shakti, or serpent power, attacks the organs in the vicinity of the chakra it is passing through, biting and poisoning them on the astral level. As it climbs, each one of the astral organs is hurt and felt as a physical ailment. This often reflects as a symptomatic problem in the kidneys, then stomach problems, and later heart problems and thyroid problems. At each juncture, the doctor would be perplexed by the ailment, unable to find a medical cause, then doubly perplexed when that problem leaves and the next one arises. Though treatments and multiple tests are more than often given, the source of the problems is usually undetected. A devotee going through this experience often challenges the will of his Satguru, whereupon he is left to his own devices, as it lies beyond even the Guru's ability to help or guide him further. For the rule is, the Guru takes 9 steps toward the seeker for each humble, cooperative, eager step the devotee takes toward him. That's a nice statement there, huh? It's usually you just hear the devotee takes 1 and the Guru takes 9, but this is describing that one step that the devotee takes. For the rule is, the Guru takes 9 steps toward the seeker for each humble, cooperative, eager step the devotee takes toward him. When the devotee balks, begins to argue and challenge the Guru's will, this is the Guru's signal to withdraw, a mystical sign that his 9th step had been taken. Should he take the 10th, he enters without a welcome and tangles when steps 11 and 12 are taken. To withdraw then would cause an unwanted karma of hurt, pain, and anguish. So, the wisdom of the ancients is, for every 1 step taken toward the Guru takes 9 steps toward the devotee, and of course, no more. Then we get rid of his favorite Guru here. Then Shri 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 Vishvaguru Maha Maharaj Ji steps in and takes over. And the failed aspirant either is corrected by the forces of circumstance to give up spiritual pursuits for financial or other reasons, or he spins off the spiritual path into Vishvaguru's ashrama called Bhogabhumi, place of pleasure, another name for earth. It is the biggest ashrama of all. Here followers learn by their own mistakes and make fresh new karmas to be experienced in yet another life. To avoid these problems and worse, the Kundalini Shakti has to be brought down all the way, slowly, not abruptly, lest the person becomes suicidal. all the way to the base, to the Muladhara chakra, and then redirect it up the proper channel. As pride comes before a fall, the fall of the spiritual pride is again another hurt. A final bite from the serpent, and as the poison flows through all organs, temporary physical, mental, and emotional suffering is the consequence. And lesson 291, striving in one's dharma. Many seekers want a future of wealth, family, and friends, and they want the very highest spiritual illumination too. This is their spiritual pride setting an unrealistic pattern. We must remember that after one renounces the world, with his entering the higher chakras, Vishuddha, Ajna, and Sarasvara, the world renounces the individual. If married, he no longer can fulfill his Purusha Dharma, his family duties. He can no longer hold employment that offers benefits for longevity. His perspective of the world and advancement in it has been changed forever. As a ship floats aimlessly on the ocean without a rudder, so does the unprepared soul meander who has forced his way, uninvited through initiation, into the realm of the saints and sages of Sanatana Dharma. This is why householders and all who have not properly prepared themselves, been well schooled and tested by a competent preceptor, should not go too deeply into Raja or Kundalini yoga practices. So we have to find the right amount. That's the idea. So, except for monastics, you need to find the right amount of Raja or Kundalini yoga. You don't want too much because then the world withdraws from you prematurely. Nice statement here that reminds me of a story. Let me find it. So does the unprepared soul meander who has forced his way uninvited through initiation into the realm of the saints and sages of Sanatana Dharma. Uninvited. So that idea of being uninvited, I remember back in the 1960s when Gurdeva was spending a lot of time at the Sacramento Street Center. And of course, there was lots of Haight-Ashbury individuals around at that time. And Gurdeva explained that at night, in his dreams, they would pop up into the inner realms, just stay for a few seconds and then go back down. And he was basically saying they were uninvited. It's premature for them to experience that realm. So you have to be invited through initiation into the realm of the saints and sages of Sanatana Dharma, not just drop in without an invitation. If they are prone to anger, jealousy, contempt, and retaliation, they should abstain from any of the yogas of japa or exploratory meditation. These will only intensify and prananize the lower chakras that give rise to demonic forces. That's a new word, right? Prananize. The lower chakras that give rise to demonic forces. Rather, they should perform the always healing Vasana Tantra and confine themselves to karma yoga, such as cleaning in and around the temple and picking flowers for the pujas. These simple acts of charya are recommended, but should not be extended to intense worship. Then and only then their life will be in perspective with the philosophy of Sanatana Dharma and begin to become one with Shiva's perfect universe. Brahmadvara, the door to the 7 chakras below the Muladhara, will then be sealed off as their experiential patterns settle into the traditional perspective of how life should be and each individual should behave within it. The use of drugs is another foreboding danger, for certain stimulants set in motion the Kundalini simultaneously into higher and lower regions. For instance, when the user of drugs, like an intruder, forces his way into the experience of the oneness of the universe, the totality of nowness in all being, by touching into the fourth chakra, anahata, simultaneously every other center below the anahata is stimulated, meaning swadhisthana and the first, third, fifth, and seventh below the base of the spine, the centers of reason, fear, jealousy, selfishness, and malice. Noticeable mood swings of those who rely on drugs hamper the person throughout life. Only severe prayaschitta, penance, can set the course towards spiritual healing. And then we got our Shum series that's related here. Rekka, sticky otic congestion. Nareka, the lower chakras, all arguments, contests, fights are maintained from Rekka, the consciousness of contentious words and their meaning. Dimnareka, entrance to the lower chakras. This portrait names the knowledge of the Maharaja who controls his realm well by keeping the lower consciousness doors shut within himself as well as within his people. Interesting idea. An elder or family patriarch interested in performing the duty of keeping prana flowing smoothly among members of the extended family. And then we have a series that relates to Vasana Tantra here. A non-auspicious fire that destroys unwanted vasanas and emotion. This is a special non-auspicious fire that receives the confessions or complaints, the hurt feelings or the sad memories, and removes the emotion from the memories as it burns the paper they are written upon. This is not the name of the auspicious fire that transports prayers into the Devaloka. So that's a very important point. Two types of fires, where you're not trying to send your Vasana Tantra to the Devaloka, just trying to burn it. And it's important to see it burn, and that helps impress the mind that it's leaving the mind. And of course, it's not the memory that's leaving the mind, it's the emotional content of the memory that's leaving the mind. We don't forget what happened. It's just it doesn't stir our emotions. Kaihi emotional feelings and thoughts experienced when writing and burning. The name of the emotions felt as memories held deep in the subconscious and sub of the subconscious states of mind are written out clearly and burned. This portrait names the re-experiencing processes. Rekkaihim, writing subconscious matters down and burning the paper. This portrait names the method employed in the practice of Vasana Tantra, a method of clearing the emotion from the memory patterns of the subconscious and the sub of the subconscious states of mind. Lirakaihi revelation of uncovering the pure light of the soul. This portrait is the Shum name of the Vasana Tantra. This Tantra may be imparted at the right time in the proper way to anyone. It is especially effective when someone has benefited from using this method of clearing the subconscious and became aware of the pure light of the soul after doing so. There is a power in personal experience being a great encouragement to another who is seeking the same experience or release. Okay, and the word is getting longer here, getting hard to pronounce. Okay. Nya lira kai hi. Looking at the light of the soul. I nya lira kai hi. The light of the soul. Or you could say being the light of the soul. So looking at it is not as deep in as experience as being it. So thank you very much. Interesting Shum series there. Have a wonderful day.